Eso pancha namokaro sava papanasano manglalancha savesim paramam havai mangalam.
I can do on Jain.
Okay. So we have today. Okay, can you mute everybody, Harshi, please?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. All right. So what is our topic today?
N-O-T.
Prabhaji, you have to unmute yourself because I have asked everybody to unmute.
Okay, who is going to tell me the topic of today? You guys are muted.
Self-responsibility. Or responsibility towards the self.
Very good. So that's our topic. It's a very, very important topic. Responsibility towards self. Now I'm going to introduce Anand and Umaid. I guess you guys can raise hand which one is who, right? So they are Umaid and Anand Maru. They are twins, so they're both 13 years old. They go to school, baccalaureate school for global education. All right. They are in the 8th grade. They belong to Jain Center of America, New York. They have also lived in Boston prior to this. So I guess I can say they belong to both the centers. Their mentor is their Nani, Usha Maru. Their hobbies and interests, Umaid would like to be a cartoonist and Anand would like to be a writer. So very interesting careers you guys are going to have, right? Okay, now let me give you guys a little more background about them. So their dad is not Indian or Jain, but these kids are just amazing. Their dad follows, I think, also more Jainism than we do probably. And, and their Nani is extremely knowledgeable in the Kunda Kahan, this whole arena of the pure soul knowledge. And she has imparted a lot of that to her grandkids. And kudos to the grandkids who have been listening to grandma, right? She couldn't have done it if you guys didn't listen to her, right? These kids are so amazing. They sing wonderful Hindi bhajans. They sing, oh my God, they have so many things memorized. They know how to say Chadala, all kinds of good stuff, right? So, well, why should I speak more, right? Pratyakshi dekh lo unko. Okay, go on, guys. You can share your screen now.
All right, we are sharing our screen. Let me just share screen real quick. One second. Oh, wait. Let me just share the screen now. Up there, present, and then okay. Now I just have to click share. Share screen. Share. All right, there you go.
Okay.
Self-responsibility. So what does responsibility towards the self even mean? Self-responsibility means taking responsibility for aspects of your life that are within your control. The point of self-responsibility is to not be owned or controlled by your passions. It's also to feel independent of the approval of others. These passions or beliefs can end up controlling your life. Well, how does Jainism even relate to self-responsibility in the first place? Our responsibility to ourselves is to truly realize our own soul. This is the ultimate self-responsibility. The true realization of the soul results in complete bliss. It's our responsibility to ourselves to achieve this. It is impossible to practice self-responsibility without knowledge of what is controlling your everyday actions. In the case of Jainism, passions for worldly objects and ignorance of the true nature of the soul control your actions of mind, body, and speech. Once we understand that the body is simply matter without a soul, and that the soul truly has no possessions, we can start to practice self-responsibility. So now I'm going to tell you a story, me and my brother, of the sword and the honey. So imagine a beautiful sword laid down on the ground, covered with a sweet amber sticky honey. To get the honey, you lick the sword. But when you lick the sword, it cuts your tongue, giving you pain, obviously. This story is about how all worldly objects can come with a price to hurt you later on. Things that might give you happiness now are all only temporary. Things that might give you happiness, and yet there is your own independent bliss that is constant and is your responsibility to realize. So now we're going to recite Chadala, third Dala, stanza 1, which has a lot to do with self-responsibility. Atama ko itahe suka so suka akulata pinukahiye akulata shiva mahina tate shiva magalagam chahiye samyaga darshana gnana charana shiva magaso duvida vicharo so satyata rupa sunishchay karana so vyavaharo. So the translation to this stanza in the Chadala is that the spiritual well-being of a soul is tied to infinite bliss. That spiritual bliss is free from perplexity. One who is confused is not on the right path to liberation. Therefore, the true path to liberation is to understand right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. So, we need to understand what this stanza means and its relevance to self-responsibility. And the third Dala of Chadala explains how one can gain moksha and attain true bliss. Thus, it is explaining what is our true responsibility to ourselves. Yes, and the first stanza of the third Dala explains that one must understand the true nature of the soul to fully realize it. To understand this is also our true responsibility. So, how does this all relate to Paryushan anyways? Well, Paryushan at its core is about learning about your soul. If you remember an earlier part of the presentation, we stated that the only way to practice self-responsibility is to know your own soul. We need to know that our passions are not part of us in order to truly and fully learn about our soul. And this is our ultimate responsibility during Paryushan and beyond. Thank you all for attending. Thank you to Prabhanti for the opportunity and helping us through the process. Thank you. Bye. Jai Jinendra. Jai Jinendra.
Very good, guys. It was awesome. So isn't this nice that such a young age, they understand the true religion, true dharma? So they're both very impressive kids. So, okay, so we now move on to Priyadarshana ji's. Again, like I said, because I get slightly different audience every time, I like to briefly introduce her again. Dr. Priyadarshana Jain is from Rajasthan, living in Chennai. She is MA, MPhil, and PhD in Jain studies. She also has a diploma in Prakrit and a certified naturopath. She is head of the Department Jainology, University of Madras, Chennai. She has been a practicing Jain for past 30 years, and she's been teaching Prakrit for past 20 years also. She has traveled to US, UK, Thailand, Hong Kong, conducting Paryushan talks, lectures, and discourses. In spite of having a wealth of knowledge herself, she is humble enough to be a student and a teacher of the Paramagam Honors course. She has a very good command on several languages: English, Hindi, Tamil, Prakrit, Sanskrit, Marwari, etc. She also practices regular tap, upvas, etc. empowering the youth holistically is her mission and passion. Over to you, Priyaji.
Yes, I'm there. Jai Jinendra, everybody. I'll begin my talk with a prayer. Omkar Bindu Samyuktam Nityam Dhyayanti Yoginaha Kamadam Mokshadam Chaiva Omkaraya Namo Namaha. Jai Jinendra to one and all. And what a day to begin with over here. Lovely energy. And these two little children, they really match. I think it is more than the Oxford and the Harvard standard. The way they started, the way they presented, the way they greeted, the way they quoted, and the content in itself was awesome. And I don't think you need my lecture because they have covered so many things. And if you listen to that lecture again and again and again and again and again and contemplate on what they have told, I think your job, my job is done of responsibility, of making you understand the responsibility towards yourself. So thank you, Umaid and Anand, right? Their names?
Yes, Umaid and
Beautiful,
Anand.
beautiful.
And
Yes.
audience is already giving us feedback, but just wanted to announce this also briefly. Everyone try to keep as much as possible your videos on, and please keep commenting during the lecture, during the kids' presentations. Your feedback, of course, helps Jaina plan their future programs. So by all means, keep putting your comments in the chat. Thank you.
And 40 minutes you give me, Prabhaji, right?
Yes.
And
40 minutes.
before we begin, even after this session, when you do have any question, please do raise your hand in Zoom. So we will unmute you and we'll let you answer questions. Thank you.
Yeah, yesterday, Hershey, we kept everybody unmuted. There was no disturbance. So maybe we can do that again today.
Sure. Okay.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah. And we would like to thank Prabha ji for identifying these kids. I don't know where she travels and where she picks them up from. It's like a film production company picking up the models and the actors and they perform. So it's so beautiful, you know, Prabha, the work you're doing in that part of the globe. I really appreciate and acknowledge your efforts in promoting Jainism in whatever capacity we can. So that's one thing. And children, keep the good work going. And I'll tell you one thing, I was always apprehensive of what will happen to the Jain community in future, who will take things forward. There are, we don't see the elders who are into Jainism. And where are our children? When we go for pravachan, we only see the oldies and the goldies of yesteryears, but not the present. So I think that doubt is shattered today. With children like this, there is so much of hope for mankind, for Jainism. I need not worry from today. When there are children like Umaid and Anand taking care of things, learning things and delivering things, I think we need not worry. So let us, and I would like to thank the granny from whom they have learned these things and the parents who have allowed them to learn all this. So a big
Ushaji,
round
if you're
of
there,
applause.
can we see you?
Yeah, a big round of applause for the parents and for the grandparents who have nurtured
Nana, can you
children
bring
and talent.
Nani on your video?
See, look at the energy. Look at the energy.
Where's
the
Nani?
happiness. There. See them there. Good.
So
good,
that's their
very good.
Nani.
Wow.
Ushaji.
Nani ji, namaskar. Pranam aapko. Jai Jinendra. Yes. Good, Nani ji. Good work. Good work done.
अभी खुद के लिए ही कर रहे हैं ना. Everybody is doing it
Yes.
for themselves. So.
Yes. And it was a wonderful topic and a wonderful presentation. And now the time given to me is very, very limited and I have to deliver and then the 10 questions. Otherwise, you will have to search for the answers yourself. Okay. And Prabhaji will keep shooting questions at you. So thank you, Umaid and Anand. And I hope you will also join this lecture and ask questions and give your comments. As we have commented on your presentation, we look forward to your comments as well. Okay, that will really
As
help
well as
us.
mom and dad's.
Yes, I'll tell my parents. My mom's right here and my dad's over there.
Tell them to stay there, keep their videos on, okay? All
Yeah,
right.
I think we
Alright.
saw their parents. They were there, a couple there, Mari. Okay, shall I begin my presentation
please.
with your permission? Do I have everybody's permission? All of you just give me a thumbs up. All of you just give me a thumbs up. Let me see if you all are ready to hear the Jinwani flow through me, not from me. I'm just a, a courier wala. I'm just like a postman delivering things to you, right? It comes right from Jinwani to you. And because of your nimit, because of your yogyata, I'm here just delivering this talk for you, right? So the topic is a wonderful topic, responsibility towards the self. Now, when we say the word self, what do we mean? When we say the word self, what all do we mean? Myself. And we say here, myself. Okay. We look over here and we say myself. But what is that myself? Is it the body? Is it the senses? Is it the mind? Is it the reputation? Is it the status? Or is it the material success or more than that? So Jinwani and the Indian sacred literature, not only Jainism, when I say Jinwani, I mean the Jain philosophy and the Jain scriptural works. Besides Jainism, you have a plethora of literature. Maybe the word may not go well with it, but you have a huge, exhaustive literature in the form of the Vedas, the Upanishads, the philosophical works of Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Mimamsa, Ashtanga Yoga, and then you have the agamas of different tradition, the post-agamic works and huge literature. One life will not suffice to even know about the whole literature, leave alone reading it and mastering. It will take many births for us to discover the hidden truths that is there in these texts. So I have taken out some pearls from these texts and I'm presenting it before you. And the first thing that comes to my mind is when we tell the word self, we have to understand that it connotes consciousness, soul, spirit, Brahman, Atman, Jiva. In Tamil, we say Uir. In Sufism, we say Ruh. In any language, French, Greek, Latin, German, you take any word, but understand that the self is not the one that is just the body, the mind, the soul, the eating and the sleeping and the talking and the walking. It is more than that. And the purpose of human life is to realize the self, purify the self, and conquer the self. There's only one purpose that we have, and that is the one responsibility that we have is to liberate the self. You may have a responsibility towards your family, towards your children, towards the society, towards the nation, but you don't need Jainism to tell you about that. It is pure common sense that you have to take the responsibility of the children, that you bring them in this world. You have a responsibility towards your parents, towards your workplace. You have your work ethics, your professional ethics, your business ethics, and your social ethics, everything. Even an animal knows how to take care of its children. Even the little birdie knows how to feed its young one. Nobody teaches that little birdie that you have to be responsible towards your children. But what does the birdie do? She feeds the children, the little chicks she has in her small nest. And then you know what she does? She pushes them out of the nest. And then the children, the chicks, they get scared. They may hate the mother for that. But then when they are pushed, they open their wings and they learn to fly and they explore the vast, the expansive skies. And they are on their own, they are independent. Now they don't need the mother for the food. They go and search the food themselves and they feed themselves. So this little common sense is there even in that little birdie. So what if we are to be told that you have to be responsible? So you don't need Jainism. It goes without saying that you are born in a family. It is your duty to be loving, caring, sharing, and all the cleanliness, everything you have to maintain. You are born in a society and in an environment. It is your duty to protect the environment. You don't need Jainism to tell you that. It should come to us naturally. Sahaj roop mein aana chahiye. And they say cleanliness is next to godliness. When you see the God everywhere in you, in that little microorganism, that coronavirus is also a God in the making. The little ant, the elephant, the tiger, the terrorist, all are gods in the making. But when will they become God? It may be immediately, it may be Nikat Bhavi, or it may be Duran Dur Bhavi. It may be Duran Dur Bhavi, and until then they will keep wandering, and they will be taking many births, and they will keep on reaping the fruit of good karmas and the fruit of negative karmas. It will go on as a package. But how long? Now these worldly pleasures, they give us only momentary happiness. As they told in the Chadala, only momentary happiness. We are spending all our life to only seek pleasure, permanent happiness in the momentary pleasures. Is this not foolishness? So the first responsibility that we have is to be wise. And we all learned this nursery rhyme, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. What happened to that nursery rhyme? Do we go to bed early? Do we wake up early? I'm going to give you a pearl from the Indian scriptures. It says, I don't know which scripture says, I just read it somewhere. If you know to get up between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., you will be a siddha in the coming lives. If you learn to wake up between 4 and 5, you will be born in Devaloka. No birth in the 6th Ara and all that. Kalyug and all that. If you know and if you learn how to wake up between 5 and 6, you will be a human in the next life. And if you wake up beyond 6, that is beyond sunrise, then we are bound to go to the Asura Yonis. Asura means barbarians. We will be devils. We will not be angels. So early to bed, but what time do we go to bed? Late in the night. When evening, in the night, 9 to 11 is the time when the gallbladder and the liver detox. When they don't detox, the digestive process is affected. The food that you take in is not digested, and that body is not in a position to evolve to the Ananta Gnan, Ananta Darshan, Ananta Sukha, Ananta Virya level. So we have a responsibility to wake up early and to align with the pure soul that we are. Meditate on it, realize it, know it, purify it, and conquer it. This is the ultimate responsibility that we have towards us. Now, 365 days, we are so busy with the humdrum of life, with the hustle bustle of life, we don't get time. So it reminds me of a small illustration. There is a horse which is taken to drink water near the fields. And you have the arhat over there. You have that wheel-like thing where the water keeps pouring, and the tuck, 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 the sound will keep coming, and the water will keep rotating. And then the horse is supposed to drink the water from the running water from that wheel, from that small giant wheel kind of thing. Now the horse, whenever the master takes the horse to the water, it says, no, 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 I cannot drink the water. First, the sound should stop. I'm scared of the sound. I cannot drink the water. Now, if the sound stops, the water doesn't flow. As soon as the sound stops, when it is moving, the sound is also coming and the water is also flowing. But when the sound stops, the water also doesn't come. The horse cannot drink the water. So now how should the horse drink the water? It should know that it has to drink the water while the sound is on. In the same way, while the challenges of life are there, we should learn the art of self-realization, self-purification, and self-conquer, and not tell, oh, when all the problems of life are solved, I will meditate, I will realize, I will do dharma and all these kind of things. These problems are never going to end. So when will they end? When you come closer to yourself, when you come closer to your own nature. The other day I told you the meaning of dharma, vastu swabhava dharma. So when you come closer to your own self, only that day all this sound of all these challenges of life will end, and not until then. So even the Tirthankar Paramatmas, even the Acharyas, Upadhyayas, Sadhus, they all have concentrated on their self while all these challenges were on. Rather, I would say they gave up all the comforts of the material world and they embraced the hardships of the ascetic life to see if they could meditate on their self when they confronted these challenges, when they confronted these hardships. And what do? We are having all the comforts of the material world, and a small challenge we encounter, we get disturbed. That means we do not know the art of right living. We do not. So life comes in a package. Along with food, you have the masalas, you have the mirchi, you have the salt, you have sugar, everything comes in a package. Likewise, in life also, all the ups and downs, everything comes in a life. So what is life? What is life? So I will just give you 4 terms. You can note it down if you want. It is not important from the question point of view. Write down the 4 words, 4 phrases that I'm going to say, and you try to identify because of which karma which is happening. I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm going to give you some food for thought. Okay, so write down Sukha Dukkha. Sukha is pleasantness, Dukkha is suffering. This comes because of which karma? Okay, Sukha Dukkha is due to which karma? If you know the names of the 8 karmas, identify from there and write it over there. Hani Labha. Hani means loss, Labha means some gain. This comes in our life because of which karma? Okay, and then comes Jivana Marana, life and death. So we have got a life, it will be followed by death, and death will be followed by a succession of succession of another life. This cycle, this chain will go on. So Jivan Maran is because of which karma? And the last one is Yasha Apayasha, a good name and a bad name. You're famous for something, you're notorious for something. This comes because of which karma? And who binds these karma? It is the jiva which bound the karma in its ignorance. In its ignorance, and that is why it goes through the ups and downs of life. But now listen to me. You have your ECG machine in which the graph goes up and down. Now, when it goes up and down, that means life is there. When the ups and downs, the curves are not there on your ECG, I think it is a ECG machine only, I may not be right. I hope you understand what I'm talking. So when it stops, when the curves are not there, it is static, then that means there's no life. So when the ups and downs come, now listen to me very carefully. When the ups and downs come, you remain equanimous. You don't get disturbed. You are in a state of bliss. You are unaffected by what is happening to your body, what is coming in your mind, what is happening outside. You are in a state of bliss. Come what may in life, then you can say that you have understood the responsibility towards yourself. So the first question that I told you, the different names of self. Now the second question that I would like you to understand is how many kinds of living beings are there? And what is it that all living beings want? When we were children, our goal was to get access to a toy or a football or whatever it is. As we grew up, our goal, our aim was to get good grades, good marks in the school, pass out in every standard, and then go to a good college. And once you're in college, what is your aim? To get a good job. And once you've got a good job, your aim is to get a good car, a bungalow. Okay, let us say you have got this also. Then your aim would be to get a good life partner to settle down in life. Okay, fine, you have got this also. What after that? Then you will say, okay, I should have children and let's see my children settle down. Okay, now your children also have settled. What next? Okay, now you have become an oldie, and as a old man, what is your aim? To have a good, healthy lifestyle without the diapers, without the stick, and without worrying, fretting and frowning about the children not coming and coming and seeing you, and you not able to do the basic things of life. So again, in the childhood, we were doing the basic things. In old age, again, we are trying to do the basic things. So again, the next life will again be of a child where you again learn, keep doing those basic things. So is this life? So there is more to life. So we have to understand what is life. Now I'm going to give you a formula. All of you, please write down that formula. If I can share it on the screen and write it, I don't know if I can share it.
Yeah, you have share capability. Please share.
Yes.
No, I have to write it on the whiteboard. So how
You
do
can
I write it?
open the whiteboard also.
Yeah, I have opened the whiteboard, but then how do I write
You'll
it?
be able to share it.
You will be able to write using your mice.
My mouse, I'm trying to do it, but I'm not able to write. It's okay.
We don't see anything yet.
If I write it, it'll be good, but then I will do it after the lecture otherwise.
Okay.
Okay, otherwise I'll be not able to continue all the portions. Just remind me about the formula Satchidananda, and I'll give you things, and there you will understand the whole thing. What is your responsibility towards yourself? Okay, fine. Huh. Okay. Chalo. So there are, how many kinds of living beings are there? Infinite living beings. In the whole universe, there is not a single space point where life is not there. Whether it is your body, when I say your body, I mean our body, it is made of 50% microorganisms. Nigodhyaji. It is they who help to convert all the toxic into the good protein in our body, provided you take to intermittent fasting and not keep on eating continuously. So when you know the value of intermittent fasting, you know that means you are responsible towards your health. You don't need a doctor. You are your own doctor. Now, when I say you are your own doctor, I don't mean that only, I don't mean only at the physical level. You have to be your own doctor in the case of spiritual healing is concerned. Even Aryan Bhagwan is not going to heal you. They have shown you the way of healing yourself holistically. So when you look into it, you heal your body, you heal your mind, you heal your soul. So be a healer and don't need don't need a doctor to heal your body, don't need a psychologist or a psychiatrist to heal your mind, and you don't need Aryan Siddha Bhagwan to heal your soul. You have to learn the lessons from them and learn to heal yourself and not come back to this samsara and go back to the micro level. So we all have come from the micro level to the macro level. And if we fail to evolve holistically, we will go back to the micro level. If we only try to heal our soul without healing the body and the mind, we may not go to the highest level. That is why you will see all the Tirthankar Paramatmas, they had a body which was made of very fine matter, very fine Pudgal. Pradhan Pudgal se unka sharir bana rehta tha. That means a disease-free body. A disease-free body is a prerequisite for a disease-free mind, for an education-free mind, and a conflict-free soul. So we have a responsibility towards our own self. So it is not our responsibility to liberate all these infinite jivas. No Aryan Bhagwan can liberate all the jivas. Even though they have wished for the liberation of all the jivas, but they cannot take the responsibility, because Jainism says that one dravya cannot do anything for another dravya. It is only a nimit naimetik sambandh. We can only be instrumental in awakening somebody or motivating somebody or inspiring somebody, but we cannot, like you say, no, you can take the horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink. The master can take the horse, but ultimately it is the horse's responsibility to drink the water. In the same way, Jinwani has come to your house. Now it is up to you how deep you go into Jain studies and explore the nature of the self and become responsible towards yourself, that you do not take rebirth again. So once you have a body, with the body will come a package of challenges and commitments and responsibilities that will go on life after life. But this life as such, to understand what life is, to understand what living is, to master the art of living and science of living, is the responsibility towards our own self, and that we cannot do it in one day. And that is why we have 8 days of learning and 10 days of, again, Das Lakshan, and 18 days we are going to learn. So even after these Paryushan, we are going to have lectures at the Pittsburgh platform, and there we are going to discuss for 10 more days about how to be responsible towards our own self. Now, when you take the Jain scriptures, it talks about the 3 kinds of Atma: the Bahiratman, the Antaratman, and the Paramatman. Now, who is a Bahiratman? I told you, for the word for self, you have many connotations. One of them is Atman. Okay. So Bahiratman means a person who seeks happiness in material pleasures, who is running day and night after the sense pleasures. Okay, he's not happy with himself. He does not know about the responsibility towards himself. He is looking for happiness outside. So all the creatures, the 1 sense, 2 sense, 3 sense, 4 sense, the 5 sensed creatures who have a mind or without a mind, who do not know or respect or believe in the pure soul, they are all called as Bahiratman, who are looking for happiness outside. Now, an Antaratman, who contemplates, who reflects, who is wise and knows that real happiness cannot come from outside, it comes from within. The Antaratman is one who realizes that I am an embodiment of happiness. I am made of happiness. Just as sugar is made of sweetness, salt is made of saltness, fire is made of heat and light, charcoal is made of blackness. Likewise, the soul, the consciousness, is a fountain of knowledge, vision, bliss, and joy. When you understand the self, then let anything happen to my body, I don't get affected. I am a pure consciousness. So this, what to say, is that's conscious centric life, when you're conscious of your own consciousness. And that happens only in deep meditation. And that is why all our Tirthankar Paramatmas sitting in deep meditation and telling us to meditate on our own self, realize our own self, purify our own self, and liberate us. When you realize your own self, you come to the 4th Gunasthan. And from 4th Gunasthan to 12th Gunasthan is the journey of self-purification. And when you purify yourself, you become a conqueror, and that is the 13th Gunasthan. So the Arhats are the conquerors, and we are, Jainism is a religion of conquerors, not conquering external lands and people and places, but conquering your own Chitta Bhumi, conquering your own consciousness. Now, when you say consciousness or Atman, you have again 8 kinds of Atma: the Kashaya Atma, the Dravya Atma, the Yoga Atma. So with the Gyan Atma, we have to conquer the Kashaya Atma. With the help of the Gyan Darshan Atma, we have to conquer the Kashaya Atma and the Yoga Atma, and then the pure soul manifests, and there we enjoy. So you begin with enjoying the bliss, and when that bliss is completed, it is manifested completely, that state is the Godhood state. So it is a bottom-up approach where you begin with correction of the self, and then it manifests. And when it manifests, you don't come out of yourself, then you are compassionate towards all creatures. You don't hurt them. You're not there at all. Physically, you may be there, but mentally, spiritually, you are in your own world. You're in your own world. Now, I'll give you an example. Everybody wants to be in their own world, but they don't know. People take to drugs, people take to alcohol, people take to all kinds of things to escape from this monotony of life, the routine of life, which puts us down. So even Mahavir and Buddha were escapists. They knew that real happiness is not there. They escaped to the forest and they left their families and they went deep into their self and realized the real happiness. In the same way, a drug addict also wants to escape, and he takes refuge in the drugs. But then when you try to when you try to take the drugs, Your consciousness is burdened, and because of this burdened consciousness, we go back to the ego state. You don't want to be conscious of your consciousness. So you are abusing your own self. So you are not responsible towards your own self. And the fruit of that is Ananta Sansar. The fruit of that is Nigoda. The fruit of that is immense suffering in samsara. So I was talking of Bahiratman, one who seeks happiness outside, Antaratman, one who knows that happiness is inside, and Paramatma is one who has realized that happiness inside. So Arhats and Siddhas are those who have become Parama Atman. Parama Atman means supreme souls. They are also soul, but they have manifested. They were responsible towards their own self. They manifested their inherent potential and they have liberated themselves. So we have one responsibility, and that is to get Samyak Darshan and to get Keval Gyan, Keval Darshan. Okay, so Paramatma, let us try to understand who Paramatma is. Parama Atma, supreme soul. So those who meditate on the soul will eventually rise to the level of Paramatma. Nobody else is a Paramatma according to Jainism. It is all pure souls who have manifested their inherent potential divinity. They are called as Paramatma. And multiplicity of Paramatma. Infinite pure souls. When so many infinite souls can liberate themselves, why not me? Why not me? Like we say, no, democracy is government of the people, by the people, for the people. So anybody and everybody can rise to the level of a prime minister in India. But will everybody rise? Everybody has the right to rise. But how many of them are going to tap that right? How many of them are going to be responsible towards the party, towards the nation, towards their, the party policies, and only they will rise to the level of prime minister. Likewise, to be a prime minister, you have to have a strategy, you have to have a plan, you have to join an organization, and so many things you have to do. Likewise, when you have to be responsible towards your own self, it should begin with the study of the 4 Anuyogas. Dravyanuyog will tell you your real nature. Charananuyog will tell you how to take to those practices and come to yourself. And Karananuyog will tell you that what will happen if you are not responsible towards your own self. And Prathamanuyog tells you that what name and fame you get. Your name comes in Prathamanuyog when you are responsible towards your own self. So begin with the study of 4 Anuyogas. I would like to give an invitation to all of you, each one of you, to take up the Paramagam studies. Beautiful studies, and they focus only on how to be responsible towards others. Don't see the Digambar Shwetambar tag. It is pure Jinmani. For me, there are 2 types of Jainism. One is popular Jainism and one is pure Jainism. Pure Jainism is holistic Jainism, where you are responsible towards your own self, towards the nation, towards the environment, everything. It's all inclusive. And popular Jainism, either you are doing projects, community projects, having eye banks and conducting eye camps and blood camps and all these things. This is good. But with this, you're only going to get punya and go to Devalok, and after that, go back to Nigod. So this is foolishness. If you forget your responsibility towards your own self and try to be responsible to others, then you are cheating yourself. This is called as Maya Chari. Maya Chari is not cheating others only, it is cheating ourselves also. So just doing social welfare projects is not Jainism. You have a deeper meaning to understanding yourself, knowing yourself, being yourself, and liberating yourself. So how to be responsible? The first thing is learn to be a jigyasu. Learn to be a seeker. Like a small child is there. It is so curious about discovering the things, what is outside. I'll just share a very delightful thing with you. I just have a 3-month-old grandchild at home, and it woke up in the morning. It wakes up generally at 3-4 o'clock. Maybe it comes from an ashram life or a namaz reading life or a pratikraman doing life from the past life. And it correctly wakes up at 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And this morning I was awake at 3 o'clock and I was with the kid. And you know what it was doing? It was just looking here and there, looking here and there. What is there? 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 A small child is jigyasu. And a small child is symbolic of the pure soul. We have to be jigyasu. Jigyasu means a seeker. When you are a seeker of the higher truth, you are responsible towards your own. When you're honest, when you're sincere, when you're a man of integrity, you are responsible towards your own self, towards the larger masses. So that way we have to understand to be compassionate, to be disciplined towards our own self as well as towards all other kinds of life forms. And if we are not responsible, I've told you about the consequences. Now I would like to tell you very importantly about the 5 labdhis. If you have not heard about them, please write them, and please try to do more research on this concept of 5 labdhis. The first one is called as the Vishuddhi Labdhi. A certain amount of purity manifests in the soul. Then the karmas, which are measuring of 70 Koda Kodi Sagarupam, they come under the quantum of 1 Koda Kodi. The burden of karmas on the soul of Mohaniya karma is under 1 Koda Kodi Sagarupam. So that is called as the Kshayopshama Labdhi. That many karmas must have been subsided or annihilated. Your moha is reduced to a very great extent. So that is why only then you will be able to come to these classes and try to take more out of these classes. So your Kshayopshama is very good. So it's a very typical Jain terminology. And for this, you have to read the Tattvartha Sutra, Sarvartha Siddhi commentary and all, the 2nd chapter, which gives us the details of these 5 bhava, Kshayopshama, etc. Yeah. So the first one is a certain amount of purity is there. Then the Kshayopsham is good. Only then the 3rd labdhi you get, that is the Deshna labdhi. Deshna labdhi means an opportunity to hear the sermons and the truth very, very sincerely. Okay, so that is the Kshayopshama labdhi, Deshna labdhi. And after getting the Deshna labdhi, the 4th labdhi is the Prayogya labdhi. You experiment, you try to take up small vows, small resolutions, small disciplinary actions. You try to do some prayog. Like in the laboratory, you do some experiments. Like that, you keep experimenting with life. Oh, what will happen if I give up this? I do this, etc. etc. Now, all this should lead to the 5th labdhi, that is the Karana labdhi. And mind you, friends, since Anadikal, since time immemorial, many times we have got the 4 labdhis, but we have not cracked the 5th labdhi. And that is why we are in samsara. And our responsibility is to crack the Karana labdhi and break open the Gordian knot of Mithyatva and Kashai and liberate the soul and not keep it in the cage of the body, the mind, the food, etc., etc. Okay, so the 5 labdhis I've told you. Now the 4 characteristics of Paramatma, I would like to tell you. The Paramatma is one who has manifested his infinite potential, who is an embodiment, who is enjoying infinite knowledge, vision, bliss, and power, who is an akarta. His Atma is not a doer. So whatever doing is happening of talking and eating is happening because of the karmas, because of the karmic package. Now I would like to ask you, can the jiva move a hand? You will say yes. You will say yes. It is the jiva which moves the hand. When I say jiva, I mean the living, the life, living things. They can move the hand. Okay. Now that living being is on the deathbed. It's on the deathbed. The energy has become totally weak. Now tell that person to move his hand. He may want to say something, but he cannot even use his speech at that time of the death. And the time of death, he's not able to move his hand even though he wants to. So much of paravashta, so much of dependence on other people for happiness, for movement, etc., etc. Now, so it is not the jiva who moves the hand. It is the associated jiva with the non-living, the karmas, because of the nimitt of this Pudgal, the Jiva moves the hand. But we understand, oh, it is me who is talking, it is me who is moving the hand. So when I'm moving my hand, am I not knowing that I'm moving the hand? So the knower is me. This hand is material. This is made of atoms and molecules. It is going to perish. It is going to go back to the fossil fuel. It will decay and die. But when I associate myself with this body, it is called as perversion. And that perversion, the consequence of that perversion is I go back to the micro level and wait there again for so much of time to come back to this macro level. And we have come to this macro level with immense punya. Friends, we have done tremendous practice of non-violence, compassion, not hurting, harming, insulting, abusing, injuring any creature in the past. And that because of the fruit of that punya, we have got this human life. That ahimsa we practice towards other creatures, and we have got this human life to practice ahimsa towards our own self. And practicing ahimsa towards our own self is the practice of vitaragata. No raga, no dvesha, no attachment, no aversion. That state of an awakened mind is equanimity. So for me, Jainism, or a response to be a responsible Jain, is to understand the value of leading a spiritual, awakened, compassionate, non-violent lifestyle. I will repeat, to be responsible towards oneself is to master the art of living a life of vitaragi, ahimsa, non-violence, compassion, enlightened way of living, where you are always happy with your own self and your aura is so big that whoever comes in your aura also gets charged up and is also also comes closer to that positive energy that emanates from you. So this, friends, is what I would like to tell. So how many kinds of antaratma are there? How many kinds of antaratma are there? There are 3 kinds of antaratma. The jaganya, you can note down some technical terms coming up. The jaganya, the minimum type of antaratma. Madhyam, the mediocre. And utkrisht, the best kind of antaratma. Now, the jaganya antaratma is one who is a seeker, who wants to know the higher truths, who wants to know what really life and living is, who wants to come closer to life and not die every moment to desires. So desirelessness, when you nurture desirelessness, when you nurture to be happy every moment and not depend on happiness outside, then you are a jaganya antaratma. And then you take to the vows, you take to the discipline, and you discipline your life in such a way that you come closer to purifying yourself from the 4th gunasthan to the 12th gunasthan. Then that is the what is to say, that is the madhyama antaratma. Madhyama antaratma. And the utkrishta antaratma is one who is about to get keval gyan, keval darshan, the 12th gunasthan. They are complete vitaragi. They have removed all the raga dvesha, and keval gyan is about to manifest in them. That is the highest level of antaratma. So a person who is a jaganya antaratma will only become madhyama, and a person who is madhyama only will rise to the utkrishta, and such an utkrishta antaratma only will rise to the level of paramatma. And then we can say that yes, our responsibility towards the self has been realized. And until and unless we go through this journey of antaratma and reach the level of paramatma, we will be reborn again and again. When I say reborn itself, it means again and again and again. So this, friends, is the talk for today. And I think I've taken good time of yours. And I would like to say a few things, that this human birth we have got not for nurturing vasana, but for sadhana. Vasana is lust, and sadhana is accomplishing the higher truth of life, or the higher goal of life. Second point, our human birth, the purpose of human birth is not to be a bhogi and a rogi, but to be a yogi. The purpose of human life is not to be a bhogi. Bhogi means bahiratma. Bahiratma means seeking happiness outside, but to be an antaratma and to be a yogi. And excessive bhog only leads to rog. And we all tell in the Logasa Sutra, Arugga bohi labham, samahi varam uttamam dintu, chandesu nimalaira, aichesu ahiyam payasayara, sagarvara gambhira, siddha siddhim mamadisant. Beautiful lines. Arogya is enlightenment. Bodhi is enlightenment. Samadhi will come through enlightenment. And siddhi will come through enlightenment. When you come 1 inch closer to realizing yourself, you will experience the coolness, the calmness of the moonlight and the teja of the sunlight. That is called as Chandesu Nimmalayara. The Atman is more nirmal than the Chandrama, and Aichesu Ahyam Payasayara. It is more bright than thousands of suns put together. And Sagar Varagambira. You remain contented, profound with your own personality, and that reaching that level is called as siddhi, is called as a siddha state, accomplishment state. So with this, I would like to end my talk. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for your patient hearing. I really enjoyed the audience, and I'm looking at all of you and seeing you nod, seeing you take the notes, and I really appreciate your efforts to come to the class. Thank you, Prabhaji. Thank you, Jaina. And after the question answers, I'll give you the formula. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Priyaji. Excellent lecture. We covered lot of different knowledge, and I'm sure a lot of people are wondering what these terms are, what these are. But that's okay. We are just touching upon a lot of things. And if you're curious, of course, we'll deliver those lectures too. So now let's see what all you guys grasped. And somebody's raising their hand. Just hold till we ask questions to you. And after that is the question answer session. Okay. And remind me, there is somebody who already asked a question, some Sonal Shet. So we'll take that also later on. All right. So everybody ready with the questions? All of you try to.
Prabhaji, I'm going to unmute everybody. Unmute everybody.
Yes, please.
Prabhaji, those who are giving the answers can give, others can put it in the chat also.
Yes. If multiple people know the answer, maybe only one or two will get a chance to speak, but the rest of you, please put it in the chat. Thank you.
And I just have unmute everyone. Please go ahead and try unmuting yourself.
Yeah. But Harshji, check that everybody is not talking at the same time. You'll have to help me with that.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So here's the first question. What are the other names for the self?
I see.
Consciousness, Jeev, Ruh, Atma.
Very good. Anybody else? There's a couple more. And when you speak, please say your name so we can spotlight you.
Aryan has the answer. Go ahead, Aryan. You are unmuted.
Mind, soul.
Okay. And was that Bhavnaji who gave the answer?
Yeah, simple. Yes, it is. Atma is consciousness. It's Jeev. It's Ruh. It's Brahman. Yes.
Chaitanya.
Very good. Okay, very good. So the next question is, how many jivas and species are there in this universe?
Go ahead, Aryan.
Millions and billions.
Very good. Anybody else? That's more accurate. Ananta Anant. There are infinite jivas And the groupings, anybody remembers what she talked about, the groupings of it?
I think Harakji also has the answer. He raised the hand.
Yeah,
Yes, go
innumerate.
ahead.
So infinite, indefinite, infinite. So
84 lakh.
Hershey, please spotlight the people who are answering
Sure.
so we can see who is answering. Okay. So
84
somebody
lakh.
said infinite.
Like a yoni.
And what about the classifications? How many classifications?
84 lakh yoni.
6.
Okay. No, the 84 lakh is correct.
Yoni 84 million.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is, what are the 3 kinds of Atman?
Antaratma, Bhiratma,
And
Paramatma.
Yeah, please say your name and then answer so we know who is answering.
Nirusha.
Prabhaji, can I
Antarman,
add a
Paramatma.
question to this question?
Yes.
Can I add? I would like you all to ask yourself, you fall under which category?
Okay.
We all fall under which category?
Bhairatma.
Okay, so answer the question. And also somebody named Usha was trying to answer.
Can you please start your video? I couldn't find you.
Okay, whoever is answering, turn your video on so Hershey can find you.
Bahiratma and Antaratmani middle. In between. Bahiratma and
Oh, you are
Antaratma.
in between Antaratma and Bahiratma?
Yes, Nirusha.
Okay, so very good.
We are Bhairatma only, not Antaratma.
Actually, I think Priyadarshana ji, what she told is little conflicting what we studied. According to our study, the 4th Gunasthanak is Jaganya, and 5 and 6 are Madhyam, and 7 to 12 are Uttam.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, Priyaji, you want to answer that? Okay, somebody has multiple things going on, so please, that's giving an echo. So if you have 2 things, please mute one of the instruments. Otherwise, we'll have to mute everybody. Okay, so we'll go on to the next question. What is Bahiratma?
Who constantly seeks happiness from outside.
Okay, anyone else?
I did not find who was that.
Mithya Drashti.
Okay, that's another word for it.
The person who seeks pleasure in material things, Ram Kumar.
Good. Yes, that is correct. That people who gain happiness from material things are Bahiratma, because they are not understanding that the happiness is coming from within. It's not coming from all the materials or the sanyog we have. Okay, the next one, who is Antaratman? I think Harat.
Its own. Concentrate on highlight that I am a beautiful.
Haratji, I think, do you have 2 instruments, a phone and something else on? Please have only one thing unmuted, otherwise it's causing disturbance. Okay, how many kinds of Antaratman are there?
There are 3 kinds. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bataya
Jaganya, Madhyam, and Utkrust Antaratma.
Very good. Now the next question. Who is Paramatma? Paramatman.
Sorry, if you please speak your name, who's giving the answer so I can put you in spotlight.
Manifest.
Somebody is talking to themselves about the answer.
I think
Yeah.
Nimesh Nilam's iPhone, they raise the hand.
Yeah, please. Yeah, Neelam's phone, please say your name, and if you can turn your video on, that'll be good.
Yeah, Jai Jinendra. I am outdoors at the Derasar, so my
Okay,
video
no problem.
is
Go ahead and
dark.
say the answer.
But Paramatma are those souls that have reached beyond the 13th Gunasthana. They are the Arhats, and they are the conquerors and have all the infinite happiness, bliss, and all these qualities.
Very good. So,
Anand
so Paramatman is the supreme souls who have manifested their pure potential, and they enjoy Anant Gnan, Anant Darshan, Anant Sukh, Anant Virya, etc. And they are Vitragi, they are Akarta, and they are devoid of all karmas. So there's so many characteristics of our Paramatman. Okay, so next one is, what is the way to be responsible towards oneself? That is a key. Today, that was our topic.
Aryan raised the hand. Aryan, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Wait, what was the question?
What is the way to be responsible towards oneself? How can you be self-responsible?
By not doing things that are only part-time giving you joy.
Okay, good.
I see Nilam's
You
iPhone
want
also.
permanent joy, right? No part-time joy, full-time. Very good. What else?
I see Nilam's also has raised the hand. Please go ahead,
Yes.
Nilamji.
We Vitaragi, non-violence and compassion, ma'am.
So can you be Vitragi today? Whoever answered that one. Today, what should be your responsibility?
It was Ram Kamarji.
So now you learned how to be responsible towards oneself. What would you do starting today or when you go home, whatever?
We have to stay within. Try to say within yourself.
Yes, that's a good one.
First, we have to learn to be a seeker.
Jigyasu.
Very good. Very good. First, you have to be a seeker. You have to be jigyasu. You have to be curious to know who I am.
And practice ahimsa towards your own self.
Yes, ahimsa towards Vishnu. You have to be honest. You have to be sincere. You have to have good integrity. These all are prerequisites before becoming the Shuddhatma.
Yeah, I think responsibility is in multiple aspects. One of the basic ones is also responsibility towards having a healthy and a disease-free body, which will help you focus more on your mind and your concentration. Being compassionate, being responsible towards your own soul and the actions it's doing, and also your responsibility towards other souls. So being non-violent, being compassionate, and are some of the things from today's lectures.
Very good. Very good. You covered most of them. So it's again, honest, sincere, man of integrity, somebody who values the values, be compassionate and disciplined, life free of medicines and dravya and bhav. So So there's a lot of these things, but in general, those are the ones that we
Can
cover.
I add something?
Yes, go ahead.
To know yourself and contemplate yourself. That is the key. But along with that, all other stuff goes.
Okay, so next question. Name the 5 labdhis. She talked about
Vishuddhi Labdhi, Shobcha Labdhi, Deshna Labdhi, Prayoga Labdhi, and Karana Labdhi.
very good. Very good. Somebody's taking good notes. Very good. Okay, next one. What is the consequence of not being responsible towards one's own self?
Repeated births.
What is it?
Be born again and again and repeating the same cycle.
Very good. Yes. Yes.
It's not just that much is not enough. You go to Nigodh.
Yes.
Not just repeating. You don't become a human again and again. You go to Nigodh. That's terrible. So this is a rare opportunity. Don't think that you can become human all the time.
I'm not sure I know what Nigodh means. I have never heard the word before.
Okay. So then let Priyadarshana ji
It's a micro level, she explained.
From human life, you go to heaven life, and then from heaven life, you go to hell.
Hell or Tiryansh.
Ekendri.
Tiryansh, yeah, Ekendriya.
Ekendri.
Ekendriya also, you go to the lowest form. Nigodh is the lowest form of living beings, like Anantai, the living beings in potatoes and onions and all those.
Like coronavirus.
If we don't take care of our soul now, we all are bound to go that way. Because the human existence is for a very short period of time within a very long expanse of time. That opportunity is extremely rare.
Okay, so we are done with the questions. Just a very simple, the jivas in that we find in potatoes, onions, that's why we don't eat. They have lots and lots of nigodhya jeev. That's a very simple way to understand what's nigodh. And if Priyaji has any better, more explanation, please feel free. Otherwise, we will take questions from the audience. One we already have, so I will ask that. Priyaji, did you have more to add to any of this?
Yeah, the Nigodh thing, can I just throw some light
please
with your
go ahead.
permission? Yeah. See, the word Nigodha, Godha means lap. Nigodha means those who are born without the association of the parents. They don't get the lap of the parents. So the fungus on your bread is Nigodha. The fungus on your bread is Nigodha. The fungus on the marshy land is all Nigodha. The entire universe is filled with these micro life forms. But because the moisture is there, you're able to see it. It is here also. It is here also, the entire universe. Okay? So dynamic life.
Archie, you can mute now, everybody. Please mute yourself. We do not want any more disturbances, please. Only unmute when you're talking.
Now these Nigodh Jeev in one samaya is 1 nanosecond. They are born and they die 18 times. In 1 nanosecond, they take rebirth 18 times. That much is their suffering. Even in hell, you don't suffer so much as these creatures suffer. That is why we are not supposed to walk on the grass and stamp even these creatures and be very alert and careful. When you harm them, you are doing violence and you are going to get back that harm in some form or the other, in some life or the other. So if you sow violence, seeds of violence, you are going to reap suffering. And when you sow the seeds of non-violence and awareness and compassion and enlightenment, you reap eternal bliss.
So this is a different gati than the narak gati and the other 3 gatis we have?
All Nigodh are Vanaspati Kai, Tiryanch Gati.
Tiryanch Gati. Oh, okay.
Tiryanch Gati, Vanaspati Kai. They come under Vanaspati Kai. The Sukshma Vanaspati Kai. Very subtle, even under a finest microscope, you cannot see them. Only an omniscient can see them. And omniscients have seen in their knowledge, they have revealed, and so we believe in the words of the omniscients, and so we talk to you. I have a beautiful incident related to this. If I get time, I will share. Otherwise, you just ask me for Krishna, Ben, and Nigod, I'll tell you.
Can you tell us about the Sachidanand thing? You were going to tell us the formula.
The formula? Are you all ready for it? See, already everybody has become a Jigyasu. That's wonderful. So my job is only to make you a Jigyasu, and you will become your own teacher. You'll keep learning, you'll keep growing. So that is the whole purpose of this exercise. We cannot teach you everything. Yeah. So Prabhaji, any more questions we'll take, or I'll give the formula here now.
Okay, one question some Sonal Sheikh asked. Can you turn your video on, Sonal? So we know who's asking the question.
That's me.
Yeah. What's that?
That's me.
Okay, great. So you asked, what is Dravya? And then you asked, what does this mean for social justice, activism, and organizing? I don't meet many Jain organizers for social change, but this seems quite crucial to me to create compassionate change in a world with so much greed.
Oh, Dravya means any substance. The whole universe is made of 6 dravyas. The living beings, the non-living beings, and under non-living things, you have the principle of motion. This is a little bit of physics, Jain physics, and space and time and matter. All these are the 6 substances. The whole universe is constituted of these 6 substances, and they all work on their own. Everything is automatic. There's no creator God who has created this world. But still creation is happening at the atomic level, at the cosmic level, at the cellular level. There is continuous flux of creation, destruction, and sustenance. That we call as Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So these are 3 tattvas which are vibrant at the cosmic level, at the atomic level, at the cellular level. But how do we explain these things to people, which called general masses? So they have built a whole lot of mythology around it. So the Jains spoke only of pure science and pure nature and the real nature of things, but there's a whole lot of mythology interwoven around it. So this is the first thing. And you said that you do not come across many Jains who are into social organizations, but I see from here that most of the Jains are into some social activity or the other. At least in Chennai, I don't know. And at least, yeah, wherever you see,
no, wait, Priyaji, she's not asking that. She's saying she doesn't see, okay. So what she's saying is organizers for social change, which means how to be more ecology conscious, create compassion, change in the world. That's what she's talking about.
Yeah. There are 2 answers to this question. First of all, Jainism is a religion of self-help. But with self-help comes help for others. So that is the primary focus of a Jain. Okay. The second thing is, those who don't really understand the deep spirituality of Jainism, they end up doing social welfare projects. They end up. And I would say that every Jain is a small institution in himself or herself. They'll be running a trust, they'll be doing some philanthropic activity, some animal welfare shelter projects, and eye camps and blood camps and limb camps and everything. Because it is the concept of Jiva Daya and the Karuna, the charity thing, that comes naturally. Like you have, so social welfare here means conducting a Chaturmas is also a social welfare thing. Building a temple also is a social welfare activity. Taking a group of people for a yatra is also social welfare. It's a religious activity in which some social welfare is also involved. So I think we need to re-examine this. You may be right in your way. They are not doing so much that they can do, that they need to do. So your observation may be right. And what is the third part of the question? I don't get it. Prabhaji, I think the first two parts of your question I've answered. The third part of the question, I don't remember the question.
Good.
Prabhaji, you're muted.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Can Nigodh Jeev by itself can build karmas?
Yes, every jiva is binding karmas. For every jiva, karmic bondage as well as shedding of karma is taking place. But the stoppage of karma can happen only for those who are responsible towards themselves and have samyak darshan. So it is because of the tolerance there, they destroy the karmas, and when they are not tolerant, they bind the karmas. They are suffering, they are fearful, they are agitated, they are in a state of conflict. So that agitated mind is the cause of karmic bondage and suffering. Yes.
Okay.
Priyadarshana Ben, I have two things I wanted to say. How can a Nigodji make a karma? And the second thing I wanted to say was, with respect to what Sonal Ben just said, I have been spending some time thinking about this, where you talk about the ritualistic aspect of the religion, and then there is the work that you have to do on your soul. And one of the things I don't know, somehow it comes from inside, and I always believe that whatever activity you do, if you do the activity in a state of meditation, connecting it back to your consciousness and the Tirthankar words, then I do believe that even if it's a ritualistic activity, you are able to tap into the conscience, higher conscience, and be a vessel to move that information forward. So I see value of ritual, but ritual for sake of ritual without that connection is what I think you are referring to, versus this other part of it, where if you are actually allowing that connection to happen, then it's more meaningful, because then you're getting more information from the universe than you could do on your own ever.
Hemal Ben, I'll give you 100 out of 100 for this observation. You're absolutely right. With the spiritual awakening, the rituals have value. Without the spiritual awakening, the rituals will only lead to binding good karma and more mithyatva also.
So if we are doing social activity coming from that place, then there is more movement in the direction we want to go to in that case.
Yeah, I would like to say that we have the fourfold Jain organization, Chaturvid Sangha, Sadhu, Sadhvi, Shravak, Shavika.
Oh, yes, yes.
Sadhus and sadhvis are those who are totally devoted to spiritual upliftment. It is not their job to worry about social welfare. But today, as householders, we have failed ourselves. We are not socially awakened. We are not socially connected. There is so much of pollution. There is so much of corruption. There is so much of materialism that the sadhus and sadhvis have to tell us about our social responsibilities. And the householders on the other side, they are trying to they are trying to be spiritual.
I got it.
Right? So there is a dichotomy over there. So we have to be socially connected and spiritually connected, and help the sadhus to be more spiritually connected and rise to the level of paramatma. And we also eventually learn to rise to that level. So social responsibility and spiritual responsibility go hand in hand as far as a Jain lay person is concerned.
Got it.
Like, for example, you take from the trees everything. You take your clothes, you take food, you take your furniture, and you don't plant a tree. And you say that Jainism, planting a tree is pap. This is nonsense. For me, a true Jain is one who will have 1,000 cows, who will have agriculture, who will take to agriculture, who will plant 1,000 trees. Only such a person can help the ecology also, and he is not doing Maha Aram. He is only doing Aram. When you are not doing agriculture and planting and cow raising and all these things, you are doing Maha Aram, industrialization. And you're polluting the environment, and there is no oxygen, and then there is corona. So, and we read in the Jain scriptures that at the time of Mahavir, the 10 important Shravakas, read about them in Upasak Dasang Sutra. Each Shravak had at least 10,000 cows. And when you have the cows, you have to have the fodder for them, and you have to take to agriculture. So the more agriculture, the more connected you are to your roots, the global warming climate change problem also can be solved. But we are into building missiles and arms and ammunitions and for defense. But because we have become so insensitive to these small things, we don't want to dirty our hand in the soil. We don't want to dirty our legs in sowing the paddy seeds. But if we don't nurture these kind of things, we are only not nurturing, we are only for industrialization, globalization, and we are contributing to global warming and climate change. So in the Jain scriptures, they tell us not to hoard even an extra pin, an extra needle. When you do that, you're amounting to promoting industrialization. So minimize the things, give more you can. The more you give, the more you share, the less you take from the resources. It is sustainable development. You will be sustained in moksha for eternal life.
What
When
are the
you
10
know how to-
occupations? What are the 10 occupations? Or what is the book you said? Upasak Dasan, what again?
Upasak Dasam Sutra. That is the 7th Anga Agama, which gives you a biography of 10 householders who were there at the time of Mahavir in the Shvetamba tradition.
Okay, we have one more question from Sorin
Thank you for the
Shah.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, Sorin Shah, can we spotlight him? Is there any limit on number of souls that can escape birth, rebirth in a given period of time? Is the selection on a relative basis or absolute basis? Same number in each period?
Yes. As you all know, in 6 months and 8 samaya, the samaya is nanosecond. Okay. Even infinitesimal part of a nanosecond is called samaya. So in 6 months and 8 samaya, 6 not 8 jivas can be liberated. This number is fixed. This number is fixed. And it depends on who is a seeker, who is jigyasu about his swarupa, and not one who, see, there are thousands of people globally who take to religious activities, either some kind of worship, some kind of prayers, some kind of scriptural studies, some kind of religious activities. Do you think all will be liberated? No. Only those who realize the self will be liberated. And this is not just for the Jains. Even an animal can realize himself, can become a Shravaka, can be liberated. Even a Narak, even a Jiva in hell can, there he is not a Jain. So liberation is not a prerogative of the Jains alone. Anybody and everybody who is trying to be liberated is a Jain. So Jain is one who is follower of conquerors. So when you try to conquer yourself, you are truly a Jain. Otherwise, you are only ritually or for namesake, you are a Jain. And a true Jain only can become a Jina. So that true Jainism, pure Jainism, the popular Jainism. So popular Jainism is a person may talk too much about the soul and he ignores his social activities. A person may be too much into social life and he ignores his spiritual self. So this is the popular Jainism. A pure Jainism, you will be attending to both your duties as a household. You will take care of your family, you'll take care of your children with a detached, awakened attitude. Like a lotus in water, you will be happy always. Blossoming always. Yeah.
Okay, we are running out of time now. So very quickly, if you can talk about the formula. There's a couple more questions, but sorry, we need to keep a watch on time also.
Somebody just now called your name, Prabhaji.
That was probably our technical team, Hershey. We are running out of time.
Running out of time. Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
Thank you.
Fine. All of you, please note down. Please note down. I'll be giving you a couple, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 words. You have to put it in 3 columns. Just make 3 columns. I am not able to share my screen. Otherwise, I would have written on the board. I'll try again with the help of the technical team. It says whiteboard and a pen. I've clicked on that. Where should I click? I don't know.
1 second.
I went to the share. Yeah,
I
got it.
we see it. We saw it. Something coming up.
Oh,
yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, there you go.
But how do I write?
Just use the pencil to type something.
Oh, yes. Now,
Yes.
I have to do this.
So
work.
basically, yeah, basically when you do the whiteboard, it's like a drawing. So if you do
So
share a screen,
that this will take me a lot of time.
yeah, then do
Okay,
one
don't
thing.
mind my handwriting. All of you write down this. Satchidananda. All of you get it? All of you get
Priyadarshana ji,
it?
if you can open up, share a screen and do Excel, you will be able to do it faster.
How do I do Excel? I've never done it. I don't know.
Just share the screen.
Yeah, I've shared the screen. I'm using the pen.
No.
Where do I go next?
Share screen.
No, you will have to open up. No, don't worry about that. That will be too much hurry.
I'll do this. I'll do
Okay,
this.
sure.
All of you
Just
note
do
down.
this.
Yeah. Right here. I'm writing over here. All of you write being, consciousness, and bliss. All of you quickly write it. I'll explain it. This is bliss. Fine. Then here you have to write life. All of you just write. I'm reading it out. Sat, Chit, Anand. Under Sat, you write being. Under Chit, you write consciousness. Under Anand, you write bliss. Then under Sat, you write life. Chit is light. And Anand is love. Anand is love. Then I will give you the other three things. Write over here prana. Prana. This is Tejas. This is the Tejas. And this is the Ojas. Am I clear with you people? I don't know if somebody can tell me. Yeah. This prana is here air. Air. This is fire. And this is your water, H2O. Please write water. Don't write H2O. I'm writing it. And here this is called as Vata. This is Pitta. And this is Kapha. You have any doubt, you please ask me. I'll tell now. I've written this. I'll quickly explain this. I'm sorry about this screen sharing. I'm not so good at it, using it.
Otherwise, I can make it in Excel spreadsheet and we can explain this tomorrow, Priyaji.
Prabhaji, I would like you to suggest that start a WhatsApp group of all those people and we all can be connected. So have a WhatsApp group. Anybody who wants to be connected can be connected for the announcements and things and all those things. If you can take the responsibility of the WhatsApp group. If you can take the responsibility of the WhatsApp group, start.
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
Yeah, so that way we can help them in many ways. Yeah. So all of you have written. All of you have written. Now let us understand what life is. How to be responsible holistically. So first we all are living beings. So you all know the word being. So we are living. So living is consciousness. And to be happy always is our nature. Nobody wants to be sad. Everybody wants happiness. Everybody wants to be at peace. Okay. So being means existence. Sat means existence. We exist. Yesterday we existed in another body. Today we are in this body. Tomorrow will be another body. So Sat existence is always there. If we are not existing in a body, we'll be existing in liberation in an disembodied state. So that is the Sat. It will always be there. It will never be destroyed. And that Sat is characterized by consciousness, Chit. And that Chitta is characterized by Ananda, bliss. Now, Sat is life. It will exist. Living being means they will always live. If not in this body, in another body. But our understanding of living being is the living being has lived, it has died. No living being is born, no living being dies. They continuously exist. So this is from the spiritual point of view. So, but science does not take to this kind of spiritual understanding. So where science ends, spirituality begins. And true science is when you know the scientific world also and the spiritual world also. Then it is called as Vijnana according to Mahavira's Bheda Vijnana. Okay. So life, Sat is called as life. Chit is light. The aura, the abha, the deepti, the kanti that is there in a body and not in a dead body. Dead body, there's no light. When I say light, not the tube light or the moonlight, but life as such is light. And we worship light, but not in that form. We are supposed to realize this light within. Be a light unto yourself. Atma Deepo Bhava. That was the clarion call of Buddha. Realize the little Buddha in you, the Jesus in you, the Mahavira in you, the Jinnah in you, which is all light, which is all life, and which is all love. Now, we do not meditate on this life, light, and love that we are.
Sorry,
Okay,
Priyaji, we have to.
I'm closing.
Yeah, because of the technical team, because they otherwise get stuck with us.
I'm just closing in half a minute.
Okay.
Now, this life we understand as prana. Prana is the breathing thing. and that is teja, the fire in us, which digests the food, etc. And your sperm, etc. is ojas. Now this prana is governed by air, tejas is governed by fire, and ojas is water. So air, fire, and water, the balance should be there. So that is vata, pitta, kapha. When these three are in balanced state, that body can rise to the level of realizing the Satchidanand and not a diseased body. So that is why we have to keep our vata, pitta, kapha in balance through fasting and meditation and through other exercises, pranayam and other things. So this prana, tejas, ojas, you make use of it to rise to that level. That's all, Prabhaji.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, audience. There is a couple more questions. I have taken a note of it, and we'll bring it up tomorrow. So those who have asked the questions, join a little early so we can answer your questions tomorrow.
Thank
So
you.
let's do quickly the
the
Pratyakyan
takeaways.
and yes.
Yeah, the takeaways from today would be happy always and be helpful, care and share, help ever, hurt never. Don't hurt your spouse, don't hurt your children, don't hurt your domestic health. Ask them for their well-being, take care of everybody's well-being, and your well-being will be taken care of. Be a seeker, be wise, and be enlightened. Every moment, every moment. Okay, thank you. And this is the
Also think
Pratyakyan.
about what you're going to give to the society.
Yeah. So as my compassion towards the cows, I have given up eating sweets that come from outside. Make your own little sweet at home, your sweet dish at home. Don't eat the sweets that come from others, and take to organic milk and not to the processed packaged milk. If possible, visit an animal welfare shelter and do some therapy with the cows. That's it for today. And dharna pramane pachkan, what you resolve is only the pratyakyan for you and not what we pronounce. Dharna pramane pachkan, tas bhante padikamami, nindami, garihami, appanam, osirami, osire, osire. Yes, anybody wants to do the Mangal part, any senior citizen, we would like to welcome them. Please learn the Mangal part, all of you, and keep chanting it inside. Keep chanting it inside. You will be getting a lot of punya.
Nobody else,
Namaskar
Hemal is
punya.
raising her hand. Is there anybody else that would like to do it?
Nalin sir is there.
Okay,
Prabhaji, Nalin sir has raised his hand.
Nalin sir, you can do it. Harsh, can we?
Yeah, I muted him.
Yeah.
Sichattari Mangalam, Arihanta Mangalam, Siddha Mangalam, Sahu Mangalam, Kevali Pannato, Dhammo Mangalam, Chattari Loguttama, Arihanta Loguttama, Siddha Loguttama, Sahu Loguttama, Kevali Pannato Dhammo Loguttama, Chattari Saranam Pavajami, Arihante Sharanam Pavajami, Siddhe Saranam Pavajami, Sahu Saranam Pavajami, Kevali Pannato Dhammo Saranam Pavajami. चार मांगलिक चार उत्तम चार शरण जे ग्रहे ते भवसागर ने तरे ते सकल कर्म नो आणे अंत मोक्ष तणा सुख लहे अनंत भव धरीने जे गुण गाय ते जीव तरीने मोक्ष जाय संसार मा हे शरणाचार अवर शरण नहीं कोई जे नर नारी आदरे तेने अक्षय अविचर पद होय अंगूठे अमृत वसे लब्धि तणो भंडार गुरु गौतम स्वामी ने समरिए तो सदा मन वंचित फलदात.
Dhanyavad Nalin sir. Thank you, Prabhaji. Thank you, audience.
Prabhaji, do you want to share the
Jinendra.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jai Jinendra.
Technical team.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Jai
you, technical
Jinendra.
team.
Thank
Harish
you.
Jai Jinendra.
Yes.
Jai
I
Jinendra.
apologize to
shared
the
a video
technical
if you want to
technique
share
being
that
a little
screen.
more than we were going to. Thank you, Jai Jinendra.
Yeah. Prabhaji, I shared that video if you want to share on the screen for a few.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I don't have right now share capability. I'm on the phone. So if you don't mind sharing.
Oh, 1 second. You know, there's not that many people now. Should we
Okay,
share it in
sure,
the
sure.
beginning when people are waiting? That
Okay,
might be
next
better.
time. Sure.